Okay, we're on. Yeah, I think we're on. Hey, how's it going, guys? I just wanted to. I was thinking. I wanted to do another example of some of the graph plotting stuff we did yesterday with the x and the y and all that. Cause I wanted to think of like more applications to like where this can be used. Because I think one of the things that I really struggled with in math, especially like the way it's taught in, or at least when it was taught back in my day in the old 2008s. um, it was just a lot of like, y equals mx plus b, slope and all that stuff. But like, where will you actually like use this stuff? So I think having like word problems and having like actual applications to this is much more important than like super advanced stuff. But yeah, we could do a lot with the y equals mx plus b thing, also known as linear equation. I know, like you hear linear equation, it sounds like a really complicated thing. Even I had to like look up the exact name to like what it's called, making a line on a graph. And but yeah, linear equation because linear means line or in a line, and an equation, Yeah. So I thought of a pretty maybe an interesting word problem that might be a good application for this. So like if we're make it well, here we go. So Tifa is a fighter in a video game. When the game starts, Tifa is level 1 and she starts with 10 health points. As she fights more monsters and levels up, her health also increases. We check in later and Tifa is now level 5 and she now has 22 health points. So so before we go on to what my question to you will be, we can see that we have a level and health points, and they both correlate to each other. So with this word problem, we have level 1, and she has 10 health points. And then level 5, and she has 22 health points. This kind of sounds like we can put these numbers on a graph, an XY graph more specifically, but let's leave the symbols out for now. So let's do, on one side, let's just write down our data from this word problem. So we have level. The two things we're looking at are level and health points. So LEVEL. Let me make sure my voice is still recording. Okay, should be good. Okay, level and health points. We also use the word HP for health points or hit points. How many hits you can take until you die. Okay, so on our left-hand side, we have level 1, and for health points, we have 10. And now for our other piece of data we have, after we check in later with Tifa, and she's now level 5, and she has 22 health points. Okay, so yeah, this is looking like that XY graph we had yesterday. So we can pick either one of these columns to be our X or our Y, whatever makes sense on our graph. So I say we make the level our X and the health points are Y. So let's plot that on the graph real quick. So since level is our X axis, and remember we typically use X for the horizontal, the left and right axis, and we have our Y axis up here. I should write those in red, but Yeah, I'll do that. This line, so the vertical axis, the up and down axis is our y, and our left and right, or aka our horizontal, is our x axis. So now, let's plot our points like we did yesterday. So we have level 1, so let's go to 1, and then at level 1, how many hit points we have? We have 10. So we go to 1 on the X, and then go all the way to 10. So we put a point here for our first point. Now for our next piece of data we have at level 5, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have 22 health points at level 5. So let's go up here to 5 and 22 right there. So there, we have 2 points on our graph already. And if we want, we can actually kind of draw a line that goes straight through it to kind of connect the dots if we wanted to. So why don't we do that? Why don't we just connect the dots? We could actually extend the line as far as we want, if we assume it's going to trend that way. Obviously, you know, I'm going to try to clean that line up a bit for us. Let me see. 10, 5, 22. Yeah, so let me... straight line thing. Yeah, anyway. So, we kind of have a line that goes through these points. But we don't necessarily have to even draw the entire line or all the points, but it gives you an idea of the increase that we're making. And we can now also say, with these 2 points, if the trend keeps going at this rate, so at level 1 she gets, Tifa gets 10 health points, level 5 Tifa gets 22 health points, we can begin to ask ourselves a question, or we could put this to more better use. And my question to you is this. When Tifa gets to level 99, which is the max level possible in the game, how many health points will she have? That's my question to you. So at level 99, which is the max level in the game, how many health points will she have? So, as you can see, you could actually, if I could actually draw a straight line on here, but you can imagine me drawing a straight line between these points. But you can extend this all the way up to 99, and you'd be able to also follow it on the graph. So you could go, okay, at level 10, she'd be here, at level 99. But we could also make an equation that just answers it for us. And that's where the y equals mx plus b comes into play. Like if I was making a game, for example, and I wanted to keep this trend going for all levels, so I knew, for example, at level 1 I want my character to have 10 health points, at level 5 I want them to have 22 health points, and then I want the computer to do the rest of the math for me, I could just basically give it this formula that we're going to come up with. So that's another way to think of why this can be very useful. So let's answer ourselves this question. When Tifa gets to level 99, how many health points will she have? So let's break out our couple of equations we got. So we got our gold standard. Y equals m x plus b. And again, when you see it like this, you can imagine this is multiplication. So m times x. When you see x next to a number like that. So m and b are what we're going to first solve for. And then y and x are the values that come from this table. So our x, again, is the level. So we can write so instead of health points, I'm just going to write HP. HP, health points, is equal to slope, which is m, times level. Plus b, our y-intercept. And the y-intercept is literally what it sounds like. It's where our line here intercepts with this axis, with the y-axis. So you can see it's probably going to be around 8, around there. But we have to actually solve it to get the actual value. We can't really eyeball it, as you can see. So So this is the same thing. Y equals mx+b. In our case, HP is equal to slope times level plus b. Hold on one second. Okay. So, as you can see, we need to first get m and b to be able to really use our formula and make any use at all. So, we got to remember what is the slope formula. Or obviously, you can Google it, but I'll tell you what it is. So, the way we remembered it in high school was the martini glass on top of the table. So m equals the difference in y divided by the difference in x. And slope is another way of thinking of like how steep this line is. That's another way of saying it. So we have our little formula here for, I can do a better box. Let's see. Okay, our formula there for slope. So let's calculate what that would be. Plug in some numbers from our table. So we have the health points for, so this would be, this is row 1, 2, and 3. Just so we number our rows too. So when I refer to Y1, I'm referring to 10 health points. If I say Y2, I'm referring to row 2, column Y here, so 22. So let's plug in the numbers for the slope formula. So we have, yeah, let me switch colors again. M is equal to, so y2 we'll do y2 as the first number, so y2, so that's y2, so 22. Minus y1, right? So y2 minus y1 for the first one. So y1 would be y1 health points, 10. Because remember, y is our health points and x is our level. Divided by x2. So x2, so that's 5. Minus x1, which is 1. What does that come out to? I'm going to type it in my calculator just to make sure I get it. I can do the math mentally, but... okay, so that's 12 divided by 4. That comes out to 3. Let me double check that. 22 minus 10. Yep, 3. Okay, so our slope is 3. So now we also need, so we got our m. So we have HP equal to 3 times level. Again, I'm just using y equals mx plus b, as you can see. X is level, y is HP, plus b. So we still got to get the b, also aka the y-intercept. And the way we do that is we plug in some numbers from our table and just solve for b. So let's rewrite what we have. And we're gonna plug in some numbers. We'll use row 2. And we'll do, okay, so level, so we have, if we follow that, as you can see, we plug in 22 for the health points. Equals 3 times the level, so 3 times 5. Put the dot there for now, 3 times 5. Plus b. Because b is the one we're solving for. Trying to figure out what that value is. So, so we'll just solve some of this math real quick. We got 22 equals 5 times 3, 5, 10, 15. So we got 22 equals 15 plus b. Plus b. And then we can subtract over the 15. Do some algebra. 15. Subtract 15 from both sides, basically. So that cancels, and now we have 22 minus 15. So what's that? 22 minus 15. 7. Okay. So b equals 7. And that's kind of what we saw on the graph before too. We saw that when we were drawing over here was going to be around 8 or 7. So that's where that's what b equals is 7. So now I should stay consistent with my colors. Hang on. B. You get the idea though. This is our y-intercept. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So now we know b equals 7. Excuse me. And now we're pretty much done with the hard part. Well, the hardish part. So now let's rewrite our equation. We can write it as. I'll write it both ways. So we'll do y is equal to. Actually, let me do it over here. Y is equal to m. So our slope is 3. Y equals mx plus b. And b is 7. So we're going to put that in there. And that's our final equation. Or another way we can write it is health points is equal to the slope, 3, times x, which is the level, plus 7. Because that's all x and y are. That's what a variable is. A variable means they can represent whatever you want. So in our case, y means HP, or health points, and x is level, if that makes sense. But, in high school math and stuff, they're always just throwing around y and x and not really showing more applications to some of this. So now we can pretty easily solve our original question by plugging in the numbers. So, well, somewhat easily. So let's see. We have HP is equal to 3 times the level plus 7. So we're solving for HP. So if we plug in the level, which is x here, so level is 99. So we'll do over here, we'll do, sorry, 3 times the level is 99. Plus 7. So as you can see, all I did was I just plugged in 99 the level for the level variable here. And now we're going to solve for what the HP would be. So HP would then be equal to my trusty manual Texas Instruments scientific calculator I have. I like using that because it's easier than pulling up the calculator in Windows sometimes. So 3 times 99, 297 plus 7. 304. So she should have 304 health points. HP when she's level 99. If we did this right. No, I'm pretty sure it looks like we did this right, but we could actually check ourselves if we want to double check, which is always good. So let's do that now. The way we could check ourselves was we can plug in known data. So we know the health points are going to be 22 at level 5, right? Or 10 at level 1. So let's try that one. Let's try plugging in for level 1. We should get 10 out, right? So let's try that right now. So y equals 3 times level 1 plus 7. So that equals anything times 1 is 3. So S itself is so 3 plus 7 and 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, y equals 10. And that checks out with our original data. So that now we know that this equation will definitely work for the data we have. And yeah, this is just another, I just wanted to show one more application I was thinking of today that might more easily show it, because in our previous example, the slope was negative going downward, and I was talking about multiples and stuff, which it might have been a little confusing. But yeah, as you can see, we could do a lot with using y equals mx plus b. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.